either 5 or 6. So they did that. They did that before 4 rooms, but I decided to put that with this Robert Rodriguez portion of it because, you know, he didn't have that many. Like I said, he made a lot of movies, and he's my favorite of the 2. But you know, he did like a lot of kid movies that I wasn't too into. And the next one is another Robert Rodriguez film that he didn't really write. You know what I mean? He directed it. It's just, well, I'll show. It's Sin City. And this is the only way I wanted to get it. Like I said, I'm a geek for box sets and stuff like that. And special edition. This is like what this is. This is really cool. I love big sleeves too, and cases and stuff like that. And this has got a lot of stuff in it. This has got, you know, 2 discs. It's even got one of the guys' novels. One of the guys' little comics, like in a novel form. This is The Hard Goodbye, and I read this whole thing too. It's really good. But basically, the movie is just this guy Frank Miller back in the day. And I'm not gonna lie, I never knew about Frank Miller before this movie. I'm not a big comic book guy. Never knew about Frank Miller. Never knew about Sin City or nothing like that. Never heard about it ever. And the movie came up, I actually passed it up because I didn't know Robert Rodriguez directed it. Somehow that got past me, and it just looked like one of those big CG just to have CG films, but it's not. And literally the whole film is shot, except for they had one set, which is the bar where Nancy works, which is Jessica Alba's character. But they had shot the whole movie on Troublemaker Studios lot, which is Robert Rodriguez company, Troublemaker Studios, and it has this huge giant room with a giant green screen. The whole movie is green screen. The whole freaking movie is green screen. But his team, Troublemaker Digital, did an amazing job. Awesome. And it's just like another kind of like anthology, like 4 different stories or 4 different chapters. And the cool thing about this movie is when you see the movie regularly, you know, the stories go and then they end, the stories go and then they end. Or you could watch it like comic book style, like chapter by chapter, and they throw in a couple minutes of extra footage in each one that they edit it out, kind of to make them, you know, flow smoother and stuff like that. But this movie, it's got a bunch of stuff going on, and it's got Bruce Willis, it's got Michael Madsen, it's got Benicio del Toro, Mickey Rourke, Jessica Alba, and what's this girl's name on the front? I always forget her name. It's even got, oh, that's right, it's got Brittany Murphy, Rosario Dawson, Clive Owen, Jamie King is in this movie also. But it's really good. If you haven't seen this, it's like a comic book adaptation, and I thought it was really good. But like, yeah, he didn't write it. It's literally word for word, except for like a few changes here and there of the graphic novels and the comic books and stuff like that. But it's really good. If you watch it, there's nothing like this out there. And then I think Frank Miller tried to come back with The Spirit, and I heard that movie was crap. And the 300, I wasn't a big fan of 300, to be honest. But I thought this movie, there is nothing like this. This is the best ever looking and feel of taking a comic book and putting it in film, or any kind of, you know, they're doing that these days, but they're not really that good. Like the Street Fighter going to movies was stupid, and Mortal Kombat, and the first one was alright, and the second one was kind of stupid, but it didn't look right. But this looks amazing. It literally looks like you're watching a moving comic book. And Mickey Rourke plays it amazing. He shouldn't have won an award for this. Maybe he did that I didn't know about. But this movie's amazing. Big fan of this. This is another long movie, but it's really good. And then there's talk of a sequel, and it's all over. It's on Netflix and it's on IMDb, so it's gonna happen. But he keeps delaying it, man. I think about Rodriguez is he loves doing a lot at once, but he literally has too much on his plate, man. And now I see he's signed on to make another Spy Kids, which is like, come on, bro. You know, maybe the kids want to see that, but the older fans, they want to see you do this or Red Sonja, or you know, do something, man. Do something that we want to watch. You know, put out another Mexican movie if you want. I don't care. I'll watch that, but I don't want to see another Spy Kids movie. I don't even watch those things. You know, now I've got to wait years for this thing to come out, unless he can pull off in between. You know, but he needs to slow down and just do another Sin City, please. Okay, we want to see it. At least I want to see it. Okay, the next one I got in the collection is my favorite movie, period, at least up to date, and it's Robert Rodriguez's half of the Grindhouse films. It's Planet Terror, and this movie is, for me, my favorite movie. I know people that like this movie, but it's not their favorite movie. But it's just, for my taste, this movie, I felt like it's tailored for me. When I watched it, I literally felt like I sat in the room with Rodriguez and told him exactly what I liked, and he just did it, because it's awesome. Even the cast, the editing is really good in this movie. I love the music. He does most of the music. He even did the music for the Mexican movies that he did. He does a lot of stuff in his movies. That's why I really like and respect him. But if you haven't seen this movie, Rosario Dawson, oh my god, I call her Rosario Dawson. She's not in this. Rose McGowan, sorry. she like it's a little hard to explain, but it's like it's typical zombie movie idea. You know, there's a gas that the government created that gets out, and now it's airborne, and a bunch of people are getting it. But the thing is, in this movie, he doesn't even call them zombies; he calls them sickos, because they're not zombies that come out of the ground. They're people that get this airborne chemical, and it deforms you. And then if you touch somebody or put your blood on them or spit on them or bite them or whatever, then you change into it, or they'll just eat you basically. But Freddie, she's walking home. She quits. She's like, I'm talking about Rose McGowan. She's a go-go dancer, and then she decides to quit, and she doesn't know where her life's heading. And she ends up at this restaurant called the Bone Shack, which is cool. And Jeff Fahey runs the place. His name is JT. And then while she's there, she bumps into Freddie Rodriguez, and they used to go out, and then like they get back together, and he's giving her a ride, and then they crash because they almost hit a zombie, and then the zombies eat her leg, and then he rushes her to the hospital, and then he gets put in jail because they keep him really mysterious the whole movie. You never really know who he is or what he is. His name is El Rey though. And people they know of him, but they don't really know like he's just this real mysterious, creepy kind of cool guy though. And while she's in the hospital, the outbreak comes in big time. A huge wave of people start coming in. Even the hospital staff leave, and then it's just like it gets set on fire, and it's huge mayhem, and people running around getting killed. And those sicko things are eating people and stuff like that. And she's hiding in a room, and so Freddie Rodriguez finally explains shows the sheriff what's going on, that they need to get to safety and get out of there. So he goes and picks her up first, and then her and like the staff of the police squad is Michael Biehn, Carlos Gallardo, which is the original guy from El Mariachi, and Tom Savini. That's the most badass freaking police team ever. Anyway, so then like they get together, and then at the same time Bruce Willis, his team way back in the day, they got hit with the gas, and something about them that they'll start turning, but if they take small doses of the gas, it keeps them level. So they want the collection that the scientist guy has, played by Naveen Andrews, from like Lost or something like that. They want the gas because they need to survive and maintain with the gas. But the other people, they want to destroy before it gets out and stuff like that. So the whole movie, it's like a regular zombie movie. There's not much layers in it and stuff going on, but it's got a lot of action. The best part is, like I said in the last video, when they shoot people, it's like a gallon of blood, and it's like no CG, man. It's just all practical effects. KMB did this too. At least Nicotero did it. I'm pretty sure they did it also. Tom Savini gets like destroyed, ripped into like 4 different pieces and stuff like that. And it's got like a lot of really good. It's got some CG, but it's not really noticeable. Troublemaker Digital does good CG. I'm really against CG, especially unnecessary CG. But Troublemaker Digital does really good CG in this movie. The few CG shots that they have, and it also has Marty Shelton. Also in the movie, and she's really cool. And the really funny thing about her is that when the stuff goes down, all she's trying to do is get home to her kid, played by Robert Rodriguez, which is Robert Rodriguez's little son. All she's trying to do is get home to her kid, but her crazy husband, played by oh my God, Josh Brolin, he turns into one of those things. So she's running from him, and then he knows she's cheating on her with another girl, so he wants to kill her. So he's trying to, he does something where he gets a shot and puts it in her hands a bunch of times and numbs her hands. So she loses complete usage of her hands the whole movie. So the whole movie, all she's trying to do is just get to her son and escape and get to safety. But she has no use of her hands, so she's like limp wrist the whole movie. So she's like just doing the simplest thing, like opening her car, driving her car, or trying to open doors. It's like like a whole ordeal for her. So it's really cool that he threw that in. That shows like that throws in like a whole other curveball into the movie. And then it's got a really good a lot of really good action, a lot of really good stunt work. Tarantino's in the movie. In the end, he makes like a little more than a cameo. He's in the movie at the very end, but it's really good. It's got a lot of funny comedy, and there's nothing. I could say so much more about this movie, but it's just that I don't want to make this run too long. But this is my all-time favorite movie, man. And I can say all-time because I think nothing else is going to come along that's going to make me like this less. I might like something more, but nothing's going to make me like this less. This is amazing, and this is the 2-disc special, extended unrated special edition. I also got this. I think I showed this. This came out. They put out a Blu-ray, and they got some 6-disc in Japan of it, which I would love to get if they had it American. I don't have a Region 2 or Region 3 player, but they got this. This is the 2-disc. This first disc got Planet Terror and Death Proof, and this second one right here has got like documentaries and special features and another cool thing Robert Rodriguez does in all his DVDs is he's not like a stuck-up dickhead. You know, he shows you what he does and how he does it. So he does 10-minute film school where he shows you like things that he did and how you could do them. You know, only if you had the stuff he had, but he shows you how to do them. He's also into food a lot, so he's got 10-minute cooking schools, and it's got other stuff like on the back. It's got like the stunts. It's got 10-minute film school. This one I'm talking about now. 10-minute film school talks about the guys and girls in Planet Terror, sickles, bullets, and explosions, the sons of Planet Terror, and then he puts his friends in the movie. So he's got like his doctor and real estate agent in this movie also. They play really good characters. But this is the other one. Actually, this one also has the mock Grindhouse trailers for the movies. Thanksgiving, which I really want to see. There's one called Don't that looks really funny and looks awesome. But and the other one is The Werewolf Woman of the SS, which is directed by Rob Zombie. It's got Nicolas Cage in the trailer. I don't think they put out those movies with any intention, those trailers with any intentions of ever turning them into actual movies. But they're hilarious and fun to watch. The one they ended up turning into was he put the trailer for Machete on this. Just to show it, I guess. And then when Machete came out, I was so disappointed. And I have this friend that I work with that we had like this almost the exact same taste in movies. And he told me what a piece of crap it was, and I said, well, you know, I have to see for myself. Because in the beginning, before he said that, Machete was an instant buy for me. I was just going to buy that movie. I wasn't even going to think. I was like, oh, it's going to be great. I don't know what it was about that movie. It just came off like, like there's some cool kill scenes. Like there's this one really cool part where they arrest Machete, and then he breaks his cuffs and he sticks a machete into the cop that's driving, and he sticks a knife into the spine, and then he turns the knife to make the guy steer which way he wants, so he's like controlling him, and that's cool, and it opens up kind of cool. But another thing is, in this movie that's really cool about it is that they aged the film in post-production, so they made the film look like all film grainy and messed up. There's even a part in the movie where the funniest thing is that El Rey is finally explaining who he is, and you're like, okay, you know, what's your backstory? And then all of a sudden the film starts deteriorating, and it says missing reel, and then when they come back, everybody else is up to speed, but you're sitting there going, what the fuck happened? But they did it on purpose. It's fucking hilarious. But anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, but these movies are just like, this one Death was really good, but I like this one a lot more. This is like my favorite movie ever, like I said. This one's got a bunch of extra special features and stuff like that. But so these are the last two. Well, no, this is the last one right here. In this movie, Robert Rodriguez had less to do with it than I initially thought. I mean, I knew before I did this video, but I heard somewhere that, you know, I heard on one of his commentaries, he said that he wrote a screenplay for an idea for a Predator movie, like right after the original Predator movie with Schwarzenegger came out, or like a few years later, and it was like a really good idea, but I guess he just couldn't get it done, or just never got it done, and then you know, it took him this long to get it done. But then, like, when you look at it, at least when I look back here, it says, you know, on the front it says, look, I'll just show this. Robert Rodriguez presents, or Robert Rodriguez's Predators, okay? But the thing is, okay, it's produced by him and his company and stuff like that, but written by Alex Livitic and Michael Finch, and then it's directed by Nimrod Antal, who also directed Vacancy. That's the movie In the Hotel with Luke Wilson and the other girl, I always forget her name. He's a good director, and this movie came out really good. I saw it in theaters, and I was psyched, but he did not direct this, he did not write this. He may have came with the idea, because I know he talked about this idea before this movie came out, and it ended up being the same thing. And I think, for me, my opinion again might be a little biased, because I love Robert Rodriguez, he's my favorite filmmaker, but I think this is the best Predators because it's really cool, and it does one thing that none of the other ones do, which is show a Predator on Predator fight. That is freaking awesome. And also, it's got like a second level of Predators, like these, one guy says like the difference between the two Predators, like the difference between dogs and wolves, so one's like a little bit more bigger and a little more meaner, but they got cool gadgets and stuff like that. And if you haven't seen this one, it's a bunch of people from different walks of life, mostly military people, or gang members, or one guy's like a prisoner, or like mercenaries and stuff like that. They wake up mid free fall, and then their parachute deploys, and they land, and they don't know where they're at. They're in the jungle, and they're like, where the hell are we? And they start, they don't trust each other, but then they decide that they got to work together to survive, and they walk around trying to find out what part of the you know, Earth they're on, until they figure out they're not on Earth, they're on a different planet.